Davey J, the I Love Music show. Oh my God, we've waited a hot minute for this one. A hot minute. We've been talking back and forth for years. We've never actually met, but he's good friends with a very good friend of mine, the one and only Mickey D. You have been, I've looked at your resume, bruh. You got some skills on that resume, bruh, and a lot of,
Thank you.
and a few awards. So
Yeah, I
let's
haven't been
go.
sleeping for 24 years, so
So
yeah.
let's go back to the beginning. I always ask people this question: what makes you think you can do this? Because I've been doing it. Grandmaster Flash has been doing it.
Yeah.
Cubert's been doing it. You know, Dre's a producer. Timberland's a
Right.
producer. What makes you think you can do it? Because you have to find a space to fit yourself in there somewhere.
Right. So we're talking about producers specifically right now, are we?
Well, let's go. Let's start with the DJ. What makes you
Right.
think you could? Because a lot of us go from DJing to production.
Yeah, that is true. So that has actually kind of been my transition as well. But if you've read my bio, you know that I was in a boy band back in the day, which is an R&B boy band, not like a typical like fluffy pop boy band, you know, with the turtleneck and the spiky hair. It wasn't one of them joints, you know. But so yeah, I cut my teeth being a singer first and a songwriter. So I was always in the studio with our respective producers at the time, and I was working on songs whilst the other guys were chilling, basically. So that's how I learned the ins and outs, you know, of being a producer and what to do, and of course, you know, just being like a four-part harmony group. That sort of taught me how to harmonize instruments as well, you know, like arrangements and stuff. So yeah, that's how I basically got my, you know, my beginnings as a producer. And then when I became a DJ, parallel to being in that group, because I somehow felt or knew in my gut that this wasn't gonna be my breakthrough with this group. You know, various factors I won't have to get into, but it's just like I knew there's going to be life after this group. And so, yeah, parallel to being in that group, I actually taught myself how to DJ. And that was through seeing a local DJ out here called DJ Scar, who I've mentioned before in various interviews. And he's one who actually inspired me to become a DJ because he was playing like all this rare sort of R&B stuff that I had on vinyl, like promo mixes that I couldn't get on CD because I've always been like a huge CD collector, right? And I was thinking, where the hell is he getting these remixes from? What is this? What is that? And so I ended up buying like the vinyl that he had, just so I can have those songs, those remixes. And I didn't even have a record player yet. And so basically, in 2000, I bought my first record player, and I just basically bought that just for the love of having music. But I was watching him in the club as well when I was going out on the weekends. I was like, wow, this is cool. You know, he's playing all this music he loves and he's getting paid for it. Like, he's definitely getting paid more than I am with the group right now. So that's what sort of, you know, got me interested in DJing, besides the fact that I was interested in the art of scratching as well. Just by watching hip hop videos and Yo MTV raps and all that stuff, it always fascinated me. I just wanted to learn how to do it. So I think it was Christmas 2000. I asked my parents to buy me a second record player and a mixer, and they did. So I had the full setup by Christmas. So literally by 2001, 1st of January 2001, that was the birth of DJ Soulchild. I said, right, that's it. This year I'm going to tackle becoming a DJ. And I didn't leave my bedroom for like 3 years. I didn't take the first gig for 3 years. And it was just really important for me to sort of practice first, to know what the hell I was doing, you know, get into the groove of it, you know, learn certain techniques before I felt like I was, you know, confident enough to, you know, hit the clubs and hit an audience. And that's what happened in 2004. That was my first gig. So DJ Soulchild's been around since 2001, but the first gig was 2004.
I'm trying to think. My progression. Well, I'm older than you, so my progression was just have a go. Because I
Right.
thought the thing that I didn't know how to do was slip cue. When somebody showed me how to do that, it was like
Yeah.
it's on. It's on. Slip cue's your
I feel
first
you.
thing. It's on
Yeah.
after that. Once you made up your mind that you're gonna do the gigs, what was the next move in terms of going public? Did you play for somebody or did you put your own night together?
No, I actually got booked for this birthday party. It was in a cellar. It was like a sort of party room, but it was beneath a church in
Okay.
Basel. And my friend, she rented out this party room to, celebrate her birthday with her friends. And she didn't know any DJs. So my best friend suggested that, I play there for that birthday party. And I was like, I'm not sure. I was getting cold feet and I didn't know if I was ready or not, or maybe it's just like me being being a pussy at the time. But yeah, I took it on and that was my first ever gig. I didn't get paid for probably, very little money. I can't even remember, to be honest. But it was just getting my feet wet, just having that first sort of experience in front of an audience. And it went down so well. They enjoyed themselves so much. And someone at that party told someone else who was running a club in Basel, you need to book this DJ. He's new on the scene, but give him a shot. He's really good. And so he did. And from there on, I had this residency at this club all of a sudden. And it was, one of the more popular clubs in Basel as well. And that's how I just got my name spread. And I was, DJing alongside other DJs who were being booked. I was like the warm-up DJ for them. And they thought I was good. And they were tagging me along to their gigs. Like, hey, come and play with me here and there. And just, it's just word of mouth from there on.
It's Davey J. I Love Music Show. I'm talking to DJ Soulchild. I believe right now you're in Switzerland.
That is correct.
Okay, so Switzerland, how does R&B even populate Switzerland? The thing is, in my world, R&B and hip hop rules the world. So I expect it to be everywhere. That doesn't mean that it is though.
Yeah, that is correct. Well, to be honest, there isn't an R&B scene out here. You got the usual party nightlife scene that every country has, but there is no such thing as like a Swiss soul scene like there is a UK soul scene, where it really thrives. And you got like soul weekenders and a whole bunch of R&B artists, killing it. That's not the case out here. Like we've got a whole bunch of talented R&B singers and vocalists, but for some strange reason, Switzerland is not trying to promote R&B music. Like if you switch on the radio, you're barely going to hear an R&B song out here. And if there is one, it's going to be like, I don't know, something really commercial like Destiny's Child, Independent Women, But like new R&B, it does not get any love out here. And I think for Swiss people, the music itself, the soulfulness of it is too black, because I'm living in a predominantly white country and it's very reserved, it's very closed in, it's very closed-minded as well. I hate to say that, but that really is the case.
So what is what's the predominant music there then?
It's more pop music, rock music, or it's like their own sort of Swiss German rap.
Okay.
It's very trappy rap out here, or they mix it with a little bit of Afrobeat as well. But it's very much the Swiss dialect that they infuse in there. And I've had these discussions with labels before, major labels, where they've said English singing artists do not work in Switzerland, which is bullshit. They try and sort of, excuse it for that. But it's absolute bullshit. We've got tons of like English speaking or English singing artists out here. But I think the music itself is just too black for them, to be honest. I know it sounds very racial, but there is a hint of that there, for sure.
So how does that work for you on a daily basis? Because it is your life. That's all I've ever heard you talk about.
Yeah.
So you live in your own oasis. So you coexist with my world and the world you were brought up in.
Absolutely. I mean, I was raised on black music. My mum, she raised me on black music. Like everything was playing, like Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder, UB40, even like Blue Eyed Soul, like Simply Red and George Michael. It was all soulful music and groovy music. And that's how I grew to love this art form and this genre. And I expand on that as a teenager just by discovering New Jack Swing on MTV. It was like 89 or 90 even, where I first saw Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation or Heavy D and the Boys and Someone for Me, or it was Call Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up. it was all around the same time I was discovering Guy and Public Enemy and all that stuff, and that was just an expansion or a further development of what my mum was listening to, you know. And it had that sort of that hip hop, urban, colorful, just edge to it, you know, and that's why I really gravitated towards that music. And I was an outsider at school, you know, as a teenager or as a young kid, because I was already listening to music when I was 11 years old, and everyone in my class was either listening to, I don't know, Phil Collins or what was it, David Hasselhoff, or yeah, no, for real, he was really popular out here. He had this song called "Looking for Freedom," and that was huge in Germany and Switzerland.
Yeah.
And there was me, you know, coming along with my New Jack Swing, and then it was Vanilla Ice. I actually dug Vanilla Ice when it came out, Ice Ice Baby. I mean, don't fault me for I was like 11 years old. And of course, MC Hammer, you know, that album was probably one of the first albums I bought on cassette at the time. Yes, cassette kids. You don't know nothing about cassettes. So yeah, man, I was in my own little bubble. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to what anyone else was listening to. I didn't care.
So, friend-wise, relationship-wise, who did you form relationship with or crew with at school, or was you completely for dolo the whole time?
No, I mean, when I got into high school, it was me and three other friends. We were like this sort of clique. We were like this posse, if you will. And we called ourselves Double F Posse. We thought we were so cool. And we actually formed a rap band as well. So we were rappers and we were break dancers, you know, and we tried to emulate what, you know, what our heroes were doing. We were all listening to Run DMC, Public Enemy, Ice Cube, what else? Redman, you know, just everyone who was out at the time. And I was a huge Rex and Effect fan because that was mixing like the New Jack Swing that I was into with rap.
Yeah.
And everything that had the sort of New Jack Swing vibe, like K7 and the, you know, and the Swing Kids, you know, like, oh man, that was my shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, I just fused what I knew with what they knew, and we sort of respected each other's tastes, and we sort of blended it where we were, you know, performing our own music, and I was producing our own demos at the time, with this sort of cheap, you know, software. I mean, you know, the beats sounded crap, but you know, I was just trying my best. You know, I was in high school, and that was like my humble beginnings, and we were like pretty much the only hip hop clique in the school. Like everyone else was listening to Guns N' Roses and Ugly Kid Joe and Nirvana, all that stuff, you know, that was out at the time. So, yeah, man, and we were like the cool kids, you know.
So what was your first remix?
My first remix.
Whether it was commercial or not, so at least you had a go.
Yeah, that, funnily enough, it's one of my best performing remixes to date. And that was... No, actually, no. Before I go there, my first remix was the one I did for my boy band. And it was on the single. And it wasn't much of a remix. I just chopped up the Mary J. Blige, what's it called? Family Affair.
Yeah.
And I used the bass of that as the beat for the remix, just to give it a little bit of more of a club spin, you know? Yeah. And it worked so well. It just sounded so dope. And everyone loved that version when we performed it as well. And yeah, I mean, it didn't like get sold in stores. It was like a promo single that we sold at our shows, but it sold out. We had like hundreds of copies and they sold out, and everyone loved it. And that was my first remix, basically. It was basically a blend, a chopped up blend, really. And so the one that sort of was tagged with DJ Soulchild, the first DJ Soulchild remix, was the Ashanti Rock With You remix I did by throwing the a cappella over Music Soulchild's For the Night. Mm-hmm. And so many DJs still tag me in videos, you know, when they're playing this out in their sets, or, you know, when I go to YouTube, it's like over 200,000 views on it. It's crazy. Like, it's still my biggest remix to date, views, and you know, and by, you know, how many times I see DJs playing it out. And that was like, what? That was like 2005? Yeah.
All right, so let's surpass 2005 and start talking about when you think, okay, do you know what? I'm getting some views on this. Let me take this seriously. So did you start approaching record labels or start approaching artists first?
Neither. Do you know what? I was doing like these bootleg remixes for, for some time. I was doing like Ryan Leslie remixes at the time. Ryan heard them, he loved them, but they didn't become official because I was using samples and stuff. And,
Right.
I didn't really know how to produce my own stuff yet fully like I can now. I was just learning that. So I was, relying on samples and other people's instrumentals to create these blends. And the first official remix I did was for a rapper called The Ville. And he was from LA. And who was featured on it? None other than Kelly LaRock, the UK singer.
Yeah.
And there was this guy called John Smith PR. He was a Scottish guy. And he knew my remixes from YouTube, the stuff I'd just thrown on there as promo. And he asked me if I wanted to do this official remix for this rapper called The Ville. So I did it. And that just got like an email blast. And it was posted up on his MySpace at the time. And it got tons of, plays on MySpace. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was doing well, man. And from there on, I don't know, I didn't really sort of go to artists or labels and beg to do like remixes. That's never been me. I just let the work fall in my lap, I just wanted to let the work speak for itself and spread, and then people will eventually come to me, and that's what happened.
Now you are on a roll. What was the next one that people said, I like it? Because let me tell you something, you've done loads of them, including the one you've just sent out, which is an original production, but we'll come to that at some point.
Right.
What was the next move? Because you're not asking anybody, which is a hip hop move. You don't ask nobody, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Because you ask, they're going to say no. Because the people who are in the ivory towers don't actually, they don't come to us. They don't mess with us. They don't go to clubs. That's why you have street teams had street teams. That is why we have street team vans. That is why you have an A&R who works in the black department. So you are a one-man band, and you go from strength to strength to strength.
Yeah.
What's your next strong move? So you've done a couple of bits in between, but what's your next one is like, this is something?
Well, at the time, around 2011, I was managing. Well, I just started to manage the Swiss R&B artist called Faye B. And
I remember. Oh, yes.
There you go. So the first single was called Finally, and it did really, really well. The original version had what's his name? Damn it. I'm blanking out. Pirelli. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pirelli. He was on the video as well, and we decided to put out a remix package. So we got several remixers on board to deliver like house remixes and UK garage remix by DJ Q from London. Who else? I'm trying to think. But anyway, I ended up doing the R&B remix, and I used the Sylvia Striplin. Can't turn me away. Yeah. Use that sample, and that ended up getting more plays than the original version in the UK soul scene. And we went over through Steve Ripley. He promoted the first single, and that remix actually got to number 4 in UK soul chart, and that was my first soul chart position. I was like, oh shit, okay, so this is a new dimension now. I'm moving on up here. So with every Faye B release that we did, I always contributed like a remix to it as well, and those remixes usually outperformed the original.
All right, so tell me how. Let's break into this for a second, and just tell me how you got hooked up with Mickey D.
Mickey D. Yeah, so I'd heard of his name, before we met, and I think the first time we met was in 2000 and let me say, here come the dates again. I would have to say 2014, 2015, around that time, because he was booked for a gig in Bern in Switzerland called The Lick, which was appropriated, of course, from Trevor Nelson's The Lick party. And this guy called Chris in Bern, who is a good friend of Ronnie's, good personal friend of Ronnie's and Mickey's, he booked me for the same gig as Mickey's. So that's how I ended up playing with Mickey for the first time, with Ronnie for the first time, and getting to know them on a personal level. And we had a great time. Like, Mickey, he's got a great sense of humor. He's got stories for days. And he had us in absolute fits. Like he had me in stitches with his stories. Like his art of storytelling and the way he sort of, details every scene and the punchline at the end. He's a master at that. So yeah, we
And
had
a
a great
nice
time with Mickey,
person,
man.
and a really
Shouts
nice
out to
guy.
he's a very nice person for sure, for sure. And so yeah, man, so much love to this guy, man. And he's hilarious.
Yeah, and as it happens, I now work with Mickey and Ronnie on my soul.
Exactly. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, and I love
So-
Ronnie as well. Great.
Yeah.
Dude.
All right. So right now, I'd say your remixes, stroke productions are your thing. So uh, to take that and go, right, I'm kind of all right at it. Let me go more into this.
Right.
How do you choose what you're going to do?
Do you know what? I had so many like unfinished projects from the time I was with Faye B because I would do things in between whenever I found time. And just as I developed as a producer and, acquired new gear and new plugins and VSTs and all that stuff, I just found, you know what? I can polish that. I can make that better now. I've got new skills. And I don't know. I was just dropping bootleg after bootleg again, and then had some official remixes come in, requests to do them, and I was just doing them parallel to each other, and I just wanted to keep myself in the picture. Basically, I just wanted to sort of use these remixes to promote my name and reach more people than just being a DJ, and yeah, that's basically just how I did it. I just locked in and just went hard. Just went hard, bro. Like, I just wanted to be better than I'd ever been now that I had the time to do it, and the focus. So, yeah, and here I am. And my last big feat was back in July, and I was on a top 40 album in the UK. And my remix reached #1 on the UK iTunes chart. And the album was #1 on the iTunes R&B chart as well. So yeah, gradually building my profile, and then just got tons of work coming in still, and working on stuff now. And yeah.
What was the name of the song and the artist that just hit the #1?
Yeah, the artist was called Beckwith. He's a Caucasian guy from London, and he does like sort of R&B with a little bit of pop in there, but it's very sort of 90s influence. Like he's got some Ralph Tresvant stuff in there, New Jack Swing.
Okay.
My remix was very sort of I would say 90s influence for sure, using the Tana Gardner Heartbeat track, the sample.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a banger, man. It's a banger. And the song was called Can't Beat the Weekend.
Okay.
And there's a little story behind that if you got time.
Yeah.
So he had released 2 top 40 singles before that. And on the iTunes UK R&B chart, he always came second place to the artist The Weeknd, right?
Okay.
And so he decided to write a song about this with a double entendre. I can't beat the artist The Weeknd, but you also can't beat The Weeknd because it's the best time of the week,
Yeah.
And so I produced this party version of a really dope track, which was originally produced by Jimmy Anthony in Denmark. He's a close friend of mine. What's up, Jimmy? It's my boy. And he killed it. He did like sort of Bruno Mars, sort of chunky sort of flavor,
Okay.
And I decided to take it, back to the 90s with a classic flavor and gave it like that party edge. And yeah, man, so that just became really popular and climbed up the UK R&B iTunes chart at #1. And yeah, it was big for all of us, man, for everyone involved. It was really, really cool, man. I have to send you it if you don't already have it. So
no,
yeah,
I do
so
not. Listen, you need to give me a
folder
key to your vault and just give me everything. I mean, we've been going back and forth for years, and every time you put something up, you put snippets like, "Ooh, that's nice, that's nice." But
yeah. I like to
play. Yeah, I play so much stuff that I don't always come back to you. But what prompted me to come back to you was the new single. Well, I'm going to let you tell the story, but you just posted quite a good amount of your latest project from what I would consider from that era a classic artist. And you've just done a very good production using your production stroke hip hop skills to layer in a sample that we all know but makes the tune rock. So give us a story.
Right. So are you talking about Koffee Brown right now?
I am indeed.
Yeah, because I'm working a bunch of stuff right now, so I wasn't sure which one you were referring to. But yeah, the Koffee Brown. So now on my remix of About It, that's a new single by Koffee Brown. I've got this rapper who's worked with me prior, and he's called Sadia. He's from New York, and he was on my debut single called What We Gonna Do, which I released over a year ago. And we maintained or developed this amazing friendship. Like, we hear each other every other day. Like, he's like one of my closest friends now. We've never met in person, but he's one of my best friends on the planet right now. And so he knew Koffee Brown. And actually, I'll let this out the bag. Hope you're not mad at me, Sidia, but here goes. Now, Koffee Brown consists of Vernell, the female singer, and Fonz, right? The male singer. Now, Fonz did not want to get back into Koffee Brown. He didn't want to be a part of the project anymore.
Okay.
So now, who's replacing him? Ryan Lane. And I've been following Ryan Lane's music for about at least 10 years now. And he's from New York too. And so Sadia knows both of them. And he actually knows their PR guy as well. And so the PR guy sent him the acapella, and he passed it on to me. And I said, you know what, bro? I think this new single by Koffee Brown is cool, but I think we can really sort of turn it out. You know, I think we can really sort of, give it that oomph that it needs for the dance floor. Yeah. And so in between projects I was working on, I think, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. So I don't know why, but for some reason, every time I hear an acapella, I usually hear like a suitable sample beneath it. Right. Pretty much immediately. Like, I've got this sort of crazy library in my head. Yeah. That my mind selects from. My brain just says, oh, do you know what would be cool with that? That. And so I tried it, and like 90% of the time I get it right. Like, it really sounds good. You know, sometimes you can hear a sample in your head that probably works, but it's probably not in the right pitch, you know? But it was in the perfect pitch of the acapella, and I figured, you know what? Yeah, man. So I placed them, you know, beneath each other, and I figured, you know what beat would work with that? And it was the what's the original beat? Was it Fab Five Freddy beat? From a soundtrack.
Change your beat from Wild Style?
Nah, it wasn't that. Oh god, I can't remember the name of the sample now. But I've had it in my archives for like forever. And it's got that doom chat, you know, that sort of beat.
Okay. That's from the film Wild Style, I think.
It is, yeah, you might be right. So yeah, I immediately heard that beat beneath the sample. I think, you know what, I need to try that out. And it, like I said, I mean, it just worked. I was like, oh shit, well, I think we got something here. You know, the energy's crazy. Like, when After Party came out by Koffee Brown, it had that sort of party energy. You know, it was laid back, it had that neo-soul tinge to it, but it was still a party joint.
Still energy.
Good, you know? Yeah, and I felt like the original version of About It, the new single, was a bit flat. It was a bit monotone throughout. It was like the same beat throughout the whole, you know, song. And I felt, you know what, this song needs to be levitated a bit. It needs to be raised in the bridge parts, and the chorus needs to have a peak as well. It has to have like a climax to make it more interesting. And that's what I did. And I humbly say, I think my version's better. And I've sent it to KG of Naughty by Nature. I'm still waiting for his feedback. I posted like a sample of it on Instagram, and I tagged Koffee Brown, and both members of Koffee Brown plus the Koffee Brown account, they all reposted it. So that's a good sign. You never know. Yeah. So and Sadia, my boy Sadia, he killed his rap, like decimated it. It was amazing. Because on original, I think it's Vinny. Yeah, it's Vinny of Naughty by Nature on the original version, and it was cool. But Sadia, he absolutely murked it. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will be picked up by KG of Naughty by Nature. He has confirmed that he's received it, and I'm just waiting for him to listen to it now and sort of, you know, the green light on it. So fingers.
At some point, it sounded like you could end up like Stargate, and I might have to ask you for your autograph.
Stop it, man. Nah, come on, man. I'm
Yeah.
humble, bro. Yeah, so yeah, man. So fingers crossed, and I'm working on another big project right now.
Do
I met
tell.
yes, if you got the time. Now I supported Ne-Yo on his tour, on his Champagne and Roses tour,
Yeah.
a European leg, and not throughout Europe, just on the Swiss date because he was taking DJs from every different city he was in. And we met after the show, and we were friendly, and we exchanged details. Gave me his number, and I told him, "Do you know what? I like your new single, 2 Million Secrets, and I've got a remix idea. I don't want to send it to you. You know, you've got to,
You got to
you've
shoot
got
your
to,
shot, bro.
you know?
You got to shoot
Yeah, I
your
got to
shot.
shoot your shot." So yeah, he said, "Oh, I want to hear it." So he gave me his number. I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Ne-Yo just gave me his personal number, and so actually in the process of mastering it right now. So
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot it over to Ne-Yo, see what he says, and hopefully that might become something as well. I think it's dope. I think it's super dope. It's got that hip hop edge again, and
Yeah.
it's better for the clubs than the original version. So yeah, that's my
So
thing.
the story with Ne-Yo, his
Mm,
very, very, very first record.
yeah,
He was his first record was produced by Stargate.
right.
Stargate are managed by Carl and Danny, right?
Yeah,
So I know Carl, but I know Danny more. Danny and me grew up
Blacksmith,
in the
right?
same era. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Blacksmith. So
Mm,
I knew Danny because Danny worked in the same era as me. We went to the same clubs, etc. I knew
right.
like Danny like way back. In fact, I
Mm,
gave up music when he carried on because we were both signed to Elite Records, which had Level
yeah.
42, Atmosphere, etc., etc.
Hmm.
So they, because they had a relationship with George K, they gave George K the very first song, which was So Sick, right?
Right.
And George hammered the hell out of it. So the rest of the world got to hear it via Choice FM.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
saw the power of radio and a good record, because just because you get something first doesn't mean anything. But
Right.
the next thing after that was then I got to see this really tall, light-skinned guy who came
Mm.
in when we did our under 16s parties for Choice FM. And this guy came in and Ne-Yo said, "Oh, look, I'm going to give my mate a quick squeeze." And
Hmm.
his first record, this guy, was Run It. Now, we was playing
It's-
it.
Yeah.
We was playing it, but whatever. And Chris came and killed it. And
Mm.
that dude, Chris Brown, that was it. I mean, those Utes went nuts for Chris Brown, you
Oh
know?
yeah, he's an amazing performer for sure.
But you know what? His work ethic, his work output is ridiculous.
I
It's like
know.
you have to ask yourself, does this guy ever sleep?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know he's got his own studio, his crib, so he's got that liberty, right?
But
But still, you have to have the inspiration and the ideas
Mhm.
and motivation to get up and do what you do, you know?
And I watched him on the R&B podcast. I think that's one of the best
Mm.
podcasts out there now. Do you watch that with Tank?
R&B money, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so R&B money. Sorry, yeah,
Religiously, bro.
you're right.
Religiously. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Every week.
Amazing podcast. I mean, I
Yep.
watch Drink Champs. I watch Matt Hoffa. I'm still
Mhm.
very connected in that way.
Yeah.
And when you watch Chris Brown talking, you just know, right? It's not for money.
Right.
What he loves is making him money. That's what we
Yeah.
all want. That is
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
all want.
Absolutely.
And I wish that for you, bruh.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a few cool successes over the years and, triumphs and all that stuff. But I'm on I need that one breakthrough to get me through the door. You know what I mean? With that one high level, high profile artist. That's what I need. So I'm hoping this
It's
Ne-Yo thing will work out. Koffee Brown, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, man.
it's not that hard, because if you keep throwing stuff at the wall, at some point something's going to stick. What you can't do is stop. You can't stop. If you stop,
Yeah.
you're never going to get
Oh,
a
hell no.
chance.
I'm only just getting warm, bro. Like I feel I'm only just in that mode right now where I feel like, do you know what? I feel like I'm a fully fledged producer now. Like I don't use samples if I don't need them. I can produce my own tracks from scratch. And they sound great. And yeah, I just use samples when I feel like it's required, or it feels good, or it would do the track some justice,
Yeah, yeah.
Just for vibe reasons. But yeah, man, I'm really serious about this right now, and I'm so clogged up with work right now. I've got so many things going on, which is great. But I'm trying to sort of focus on my own project as well, which I want to release next year, before the summer of next year.
Okay.
And it's going to be like an EP full of tracks. And the EP is going to be called Sunflowers. And that's an exclusive. You're the first person to hear that. And it's going to be like a collection of songs I've produced featuring artists that I love and admire.
Okay.
And it's going to be very summery, and it's going to be very positive, and it's going to have like the sound of different eras. There's going to be like a New Jack song in there. There's going to be like a hip hop soul era song in there with featuring Rajane.
Okay.
It's going to be like a sort of mid to end 90s sort of puffy era type song in there.
Okay.
There's going to be like a future funk song in there, like a modern song, but it's all going to be positive, upbeat, groovy music, you know.
Okay.
And that's why it's called Sunflowers, and that's also an ode to my mum, who passed away 2 years ago, and that was her favorite flower. And she always said that the single that I dropped last year was the best work I'd ever done up to then. And I'll take her word for it, because she's my biggest inspiration musically. And yeah, so she loved that single, and I just want to sort of pay homage to her and make her proud, you know. So that's why it's called Sunflowers. Yeah.
Listen, DJ Soulchild, it has
Yep.
been an honor and absolutely amazing. Please give me access to your vaults so that I can
I will.
really smack that out of the park. I'm already looking forward to, you know, the stuff that we got going on here. I'll tell you about it when we get off here. So let me just wrap this up. So yeah, DJ Soulchild, listen, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, bro.
And just keep doing what you're doing. It will come. It will come. You
It
just
will.
can't
It
stop.
will.
You don't stop
I
it.
feel it in my gut. I feel it. It's coming, but there's still a couple of bricks I still need to lay, and I'll be there. But I'm not giving up until I've got my plaque on the wall. I'll tell you that much.
Well, plaques, not plaques.
Plaque. There you go.
All right.
Yeah,
Nice
so
one.
thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate you, man. It's always good to talk to you.